Okay, so you're gearing up for the IELTS speaking test.
Hmm.
And I bet you one topic that's already on your mind is hobbies.
Yeah, it always seems to pop up.
It's a classic, right?
Definitely.
Well, for this deep dive, we checked out an episode of the Ace Your IELTS podcast.
Oh, interesting.
And they actually have some really neat strategies for this very section.
I am all ears. What did you find?
I was really struck by how they went beyond just giving those generic tips, you know?
Yeah, like be confident, speak clearly.
Exactly. They actually break down why certain techniques work particularly well for the IELTS speaking test.
I like that. Gives you a little more insight into what the examiners are looking for.
Right. Like we all know part one is basically those quickfire questions.
Yeah, the ones on those familiar topics.
But the source material really emphasizes how crucial this part is, even though it seems simple,
Oh, I totally agree.
because it sets the tone, and you want to make a strong first impression.
Absolutely. It's your chance to show the examiner right off the bat that you're comfortable.
And that you can go beyond those super simple answers.
You want to showcase your command of English even when you're talking about something like hobbies.
Yeah, you want to seem natural, but also show off a bit.
For sure.
Now, to help you do that, they introduce this direct response elaboration example structure.
Okay, I like where this is going. Break it down for me.
It sounds pretty basic at first glance, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I am too, actually.
What makes this three-step process so effective in your opinion?
Well, put yourself in the examiner's shoes for a second.
Okay, I'm an examiner.
They're listening to tons of candidates, one after another.
Right, probably gets a bit repetitive.
Exactly. A structured response like this helps you stand out.
So it's about being clear and organized.
Yeah, because it shows you can communicate effectively, even under pressure. You're directly answering the question,
Got it.
providing context and depth with your elaboration, and then you give a real example to make your point.
Kind of like a neat little package, huh?
Exactly. It's memorable. And remember, they're also judging your vocabulary and grammar.
Oh, right.
So by elaborating and giving those examples,
You're showing off a wider range of language skills.
yep, subtly weaving it all in.
Okay, so I think it's time we hear this structure in action.
Yeah, let's get specific.
The Ace Your IELTS episode uses gardening as an example.
A classic hobby.
So let's say the question is, what's your favorite hobby?
Okay, easy enough.
What would that direct response be?
My favorite hobby is gardening. Simple and straight to the point.
Boom. And then,
Then comes the elaboration, where you inject a little personality.
okay, make it interesting.
Right. They suggest something like, I find it incredibly relaxing and rewarding. It's a great way to disconnect from the digital world and spend time outdoors.
I see what you mean about vocabulary. You've got rewarding, disconnect.
It paints a picture.
It does. And you're sharing why you enjoy it.
Exactly. Making it personal.
And to finish it off,
You hit them with a specific example.
the cherry on top.
Exactly. Something like, for example, last weekend I planted some new rose bushes in my backyard.
Oh, I love that. And, bonus, you're using past tense.
Yep. Sneaking in that grammar.
And I can't wait to see them bloom, they add.
Perfect.
It's so simple, but it packs a punch.
It really does.
You know, what I think is brilliant is that this structure,
Yeah.
it's not just for the IELTS.
Oh, you're so right.
You could use it in job interviews
Presentations even.
or just regular conversations.
Make your points more effectively.
It's like a secret communication weapon.
I love that.
But let's be real for a second. The IELTS speaking test isn't always sunshine and roses.
True. It can throw you a curveball.
The Ace Your IELTS episode actually points out some common questions that are sneakily tricky.
Oh, I'm intrigued. What kind of questions?
Like it. What hobbies are popular in your country?
Oh, yeah, that one. It seems simple, but it's not just about your personal faves.
It's about understanding your culture, right?
Yeah. Exactly. You got to show you know what people in your country typically enjoy.
And why.
Right. It's a broader perspective.
So it's like a sneaky test of your cultural awareness.
Totally.
And then there's this one. Have your hobbies changed over the years?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It sounds like a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, but you have to think about tenses.
You can't just say, yes, they have.
Right. You have to talk about what you used to do, what you're into now.
And why your interests might have shifted.
Showcase that range of vocabulary, too.
It's all about proving you can handle different tenses.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing I loved about the Ace Your IELTS episode was that they didn't just tell you what to do.
Right.
They showed you.
Ah, I see. They gave you a real example.
They did a mock speaking test with one host as the examiner.
That's brilliant. So helpful to hear how it all sounds in a real setting.
It's like a peek behind the curtain, right?
I bet it helps reduce those pretest jitters too.
Absolutely. And what impressed me was how the candidate handled those tricky questions we just talked about.
Oh, yeah?
They used the three-step structure like a pro, even when things got a bit complex.
That's reassuring to hear. So they sounded natural.
Oh, yeah, they weren't robotic at all, which is
Yeah.
a big plus,
Huge. Examiners can spot a rehearsed answer a mile away.
Totally. There was this one answer after, it was so good.
Okay, lay it on me.
The examiner asked, "Do you prefer doing this hobby alone or with others?"
Ah, another tricky one.
Right. And the candidate said, "I mostly enjoy gardening alone because it gives me time to think and relax.
Okay, nice. Clear and direct.
However," they added, "I sometimes garden with my mother, and it's a wonderful bonding experience."
Ooh, that's clever.
They covered both angles.
They did. And they gave a personal reason for each one.
It's so concise, but it tells a story, right?
It really does. And did you catch that, however?
Oh, yeah. Smooth transition.
It's that linking word that examiners love.
Shows you're not just spitting out random sentences.
You're creating a flow.
Okay, so we've got the structure down. We've explored some tricky questions.
We even heard a real-life example.
Feels like we're building a solid foundation here.
Yeah, we're getting there. But there's more, right?
Oh, there's always more.
Yeah.
The Ace Your IELTS episode didn't stop there.
Of course not.
They had some advanced tips, stuff to really boost your score.
Now we're talking. Let's hear them. So one of the first things they emphasized was using those linking phrases.
Oh, yeah, those little connectors.
Right. A lot of people forget about them.
But they can really make a difference.
A huge difference in how smooth and natural you sound.
You mean words like, for instance, or as a result?
Exactly. Or on the other hand, however is another good one.
I see. So instead of just listing your ideas,
Right.
you're guiding the listener.
Exactly. You're helping them understand how your thoughts connect.
Creating a flow.
Yes. Like weaving a tapestry with your words instead of just like throwing threads around.
Ooh, I like that analogy. Very visual.
It makes it clear why they're so important for showing off your English skills.
It's not just about knowing a bunch of fancy words
It's about using them strategically.
to build a nice, coherent answer.
Right. And speaking of showing off your skills, they had another great tip.
Hit me with it.
Varying your sentence structure.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think a lot of people, especially when they're nervous,
Yeah, they fall into the trap of using all those simple sentences.
subject, verb, object, over and over.
Exactly. It gets a bit monotonous. But to impress those examiners, you want to mix things up.
So throw in some compound sentences.
Yes.
Some complex sentences.
It shows you have a more sophisticated understanding of grammar.
And it makes your speech sound more interesting, too.
Way more interesting. Think about it. Instead of saying, I like to play the guitar, it's relaxing.
Yeah, kind of basic.
You could say, playing the guitar is one of my favorite hobbies because it allows me to relax and unwind after a long day.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You've combined those two simple sentences into a complex one.
Using because as that connecting word.
Exactly. It just sounds more natural, more fluent.
And more impressive.
Exactly. Shows you're not afraid to use your grammar muscles.
I love it. Okay, all of this is super helpful, but there was one tip from the episode that really resonated with me.
Oh, I'm curious now. What was it?
And it's not something you typically find in an IELTS textbook.
Even better. Let's hear it.
They talked about bringing genuine enthusiasm to your answers.
Ah, yes. That's so crucial. It's not just about proving, English grammar.
It's about connecting with the examiner.
Yeah, exactly. They want to see you're a real person, not a robot.
With real passions.
Yes.
Yeah.
They want to see that spark when you talk about your hobbies.
Because if you're truly passionate about something,
It's going to show. Your voice will have more energy.
your vocabulary will be richer, more natural.
And your examples will be more engaging.
Think about it. When you're talking to a friend about something you love, you're not just like monotone spitting out facts.
Right. You're animated.
Yeah.
You're using all sorts of expressive language.
You get carried away.
Exactly. Now, I'm not saying go off on tangents during your IELTS exam.
Maybe keep it a little focused.
But bring that same energy, that same enthusiasm. Let them see you light up when you talk about your hobbies.
I love that because it makes your answers memorable.
And it makes you more likable, which never hurts.
True, true. Okay, so this whole deep dive has been so eye-opening.
I know. It's like they took the IELTS speaking test and made it.
Human.
Yes. more approachable.
They broke it down into manageable steps.
And they gave you a peek into what the examiners are really looking for.
I think our listener who's prepping for their IELTS is going to feel a lot more confident after this.
I hope so. They've got this. And most importantly, I think they emphasize that you've got to have fun with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't forget to enjoy talking about your hobbies.
It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Right. It should be a chance to share something you love.
Let your personality shine through a little bit.
Exactly.
Let that genuine enthusiasm come out.
Because it will make a world of difference, trust me.
Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, there's one more golden nugget from the Ace Your IELTS episode.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
They made this point that the IELTS speaking test is about more than just hobbies.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
It's about showcasing your ability to communicate effectively in English. Full stop.
Right. It's a broader skill set they're assessing.
So if you think about it, all these tips we've been discussing,
Yeah.
they could be applied to other areas of your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Not just this one test.
It's like learning to communicate better in general.
Exactly. Whether you're writing an email,
Giving a presentation at work.
or even just chatting with friends.
Those principles of clear communication,
Structured responses, genuine enthusiasm.
they're universally applicable.
They are. It's like that saying.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
That's the one.
I like that.
So who knows? Maybe acing the IELTS speaking test
Yeah.
will actually open up all these new doors for you.
New opportunities to connect with people.
To share your ideas and passions with the world.
The possibilities are pretty exciting when you think about it that way.
They are. Okay, so there you have it. We took a deep dive into the IELTS speaking test.
With the help of our friends at Ace Your IELTS.
And I think we unearthed some pretty valuable strategies.
We definitely did.
We learned about the importance of making a good first impression in part 1.
Using a clear structure to organize our thoughts.
And even those subtle details like linking phrases.
And most importantly, we talked about letting your true personality shine through.
Because at the end of the day, it's about connecting with the examiner as a human being.
Exactly.
So to our listeners who's on this IELTS journey, we say,
good luck. You got this.
practice, practice, practice.
Speak your truth with confidence and clarity.
The world is waiting to hear what you have to say.
Until next time, happy learning.